This is Next Radio 2017 with Broadcast Bionics.
Hi everybody. Just to warn you, I am a digital person, so I think Adam said before, you have to be very careful with digital people because they talk a lot of bollocks. But I'm actually going to talk shit, because I'm going to talk about how to avoid shit video or poor video. That's certainly one of the things we've been looking at over the last couple of years. So let's have a look at some of the videos that we produce.
Let's make some beer.
Why aren't people bright enough to realise they were wrong?
How much would 10,000 police officers cost?
That's not my mum.
But it comes out in physical form as hives.
Wow.
That was wild. Put your honey on the belly.
This won't get you in trouble, will it?
Oh no! I'm kicking off on Twitter.
So a whole load of different types of video there, from big event multi-camera shoots to in-studio footage. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about our approach to video, any video that we publish. And I want to start with a presenter, a conversation I had a couple of years ago with a presenter, and he was seeing all the video teams increasing, the camera, the amount of cameras coming in, etc. And this particular person had an extensive TV background and was used to much bigger studios and lots more camera than we currently have for digital TV. And he said, well, why are we doing all this? Why can't I just make great radio and not shit TV? I thought, okay, right, I need to get this guy on side because I need to get him in front of the cameras much more and get him on digital. But when I thought about it, actually, I thought, this guy's got a great point, really, because it is very easy to create poor video. It's extremely expensive and time resource heavy. It's very easy to get lost with the videos that you produce, primarily because it's quite easy on social media to get a lot of streams, a lot of hits. And if you start chasing those, it's quite easy to create video that becomes off-brand and not reinforcing your core message. And then ultimately, it's very easy to create poor quality video by just picking up your mobile phone. All that is going to lose audience. So there's something that we think about every time that we create a video, and it's, firstly, it's about audience. Basically, they're consuming more video than ever before on their mobile phones. We know by next year, because Mark Zuckerberg has already told us this, that 90% of everything that you see in your Facebook feed will be video for next year. I think you can see that already in the way that Facebook is preferring those uploading videos, and you're likely to get more social reach than ever before. So there is something that we, kind of a mode of thought that we think about before producing our video. And we start with the problem of the dog. Now, this is what we call a thumb-stopping moment in your mobile social feed. So, at least I would. If I saw this in my social feed, I'd probably pause and work out what the hell it is I'm looking at here. It's brilliant, it's distinctive, it's unique, and like I said, we call it a thumb-stopping moment. And that's a problem for us as a publisher, because we're not only competing with these other brands potentially in people's social feeds, we're competing with what they're reading on the news and all the other brands that they're liking on Facebook. So we've got to think, and the dog. So we've got to think, right, how are we going to compete against all of this? So taking that thought to LBC, I want to tell you about a project that we ran earlier in the year in January. We had already seen improvements to the performance of our online videos, partly because we had made a huge investment in our studio back in 2016, We've now got more cameras than ever before in our studios. We can live stream across Facebook and also take small chunks of that and get it out across social media in seconds. So it's speeded up the whole operation, and also the studios look great. And if you compare that to how they used to look in 2014, you can see there's a poor lighting, the kind of microphones obscuring the presenter. Now we're asking the presenters to present down the lens. You've got the branding in the background, etc. So all in all, this really helps the presentation layer of our videos before we put them out. But we wanted to take that further, so we put together a focused team in January, and we worked together. There was members from the digital team and programming all together working for around 20 to 25 days, really looking for introducing new formats, using much more third-party video footage, and basically creating more different ways of actually showing our radio content rather than just a presenter in a studio. Each video was treated as a campaign, which meant that everything was scripted and had a solid promotional plan on digital, and all the feedback was then taken back into a debrief session, which informs the next video. So here's a couple of examples. This is Majid Nawaz in front of green screen presenting a topic.
Donald Trump's not keen on Muslims like me. That is one of my fears about America's 45th president. And another is the people who didn't vote for him. People who in many ways are just like me.
This is somebody that we want for president? I don't think so.
Liberals who are scared about Trump's attitude towards immigrants, his economically protectionist agenda, his flirtation with climate change denial, and his treatment of women.
We're going to build a wall.
It'll get cooler, it'll get warmer, it's called weather. And I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them.
These are all legitimate fears, but these fears shouldn't make us sneer at those who did vote for Trump, who are not necessarily stupid or racist just because you think he is.
A lot of Trump supporters are good people that just want the government to be efficient.
People's reasons for voting are complex and complicated, and Trump voters are also scared.
They see a person that actually stands for, what they've been thinking in their head, but were too afraid to say all the years.
They're scared of threats to blue-collar jobs, of terrorist attacks, of overbearing institutional authority, and our cultural values being eroded. These too are legitimate fears. The only way we can avoid the division that so beset us in 2016 is if we all begin to try and understand the factors that made people vote for Donald Trump and those that made people oppose him. Because dismissing each other's fears leads to polarization.
Go back to wherever the you come from, lady.
And this leads to less democracy, not more.
And then here's another example where we didn't use presenters. It's entirely third-party footage. It received in the first 2 weeks about 5 million views on Facebook. Okay, so what did we learn from the project? So we tried in the LBC videos to create videos which had both sides of an argument, but we found those didn't perform as just one side of the argument. People like to share those opinions, whether they agree with them or not. So trying to have a balanced kind of approach to the video for us in that segment of time didn't work as well as just one opinion. with members of teams working across multiple departments, everyone's got their own sort of idea of what makes a good video. And so we made sure that everyone was referencing the same data to see where audience engagement was dropping off, etc. So people could see for themselves what was a good moment and what could be improved upon. So the team centralized around data. The tone was absolutely critical, so a very strong tone, not just in the presenter delivery, but also on those text overlays. That really cuts through the social space. Keeping it simple, absolutely critical. So we started off, the Magie Noir's video, that's quite complex. I would say that by the time it got to the end of the month, we were stripping down the presenters' points to 1 or 2 as opposed to 5 or 6. And then finally, just talking about the final frame. So in story construction, we often talk about, okay, how to start a story. Start with, you have a sequence of events. So this could be like a sequence of interviews. You know, that will do the job, but you know, you want to hang a question in there at the beginning. You know, what happened to X? That's going to create a tension across your sequence of events. We all know this as storytellers, and you know, ultimately this gets approaching the three-act structure. But in video, there's more discussion around what to do in the first 5 seconds of your video than at the end of the video. So we found that you've got to really look at what's happening in those last 5 to 10 seconds. That's going to encourage people to share that video on social. And I'm just going to demo a video from a publisher, ATTN, or Attention, who are very amazing at sharing videos across social. And you'll see in this example that they've teed up 2 sides of an argument at the beginning of the video, and then there's a form of resolution, and then they have a call to action at the end. Let's just watch that.
I'll have some of the yellow.
So the key thing there is, they've got a call to action, share this video. Everyone believes in food safety, but although they've put the explicit message of share this video, the whole structure of the video is implicitly leading you to that action of sharing that video. So it doesn't mean that we can just put share this video across all the videos that we create, because we tried that and that doesn't work. But yeah, so it's thinking much more about starting from the end point of the video and working out how you can captivate people from the beginning and then back again. So more attention on the end five seconds of the video. Lastly, talking about ways of boosting up the number of videos that you're producing and ultimately resulting in streams that you can monetize. We're all now looking closer at social videos that you can source through social media, and publishers are building up the team size of their social video production unit. So more and more people, more and more publishers out there looking at what they can get ahead of the crowd, and this creates an issue. Now, you may have seen this. I'm sure many people in the room have seen the Irish family trying to capture the bat in their kitchen. Let's just have a quick look at that.
Catch him! Catch him, Derry! Derry, catch him! There's a bat! Get a bat! Get a bat! Get a bat out of the house! Ma'am, will you get out? Daddy, will you catch him? Oh, fuck. Oh!
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant clip, and obviously we covered it across the global brands, but so did everyone else. In fact, I think when I looked at Google Trends, I think that big peak it pretty much broke Google in the UK and Ireland for that initial week of the September the 7th, I think it was. Now that creates an issue because effectively what we've got there by sourcing that clip is that we've got a thumb-stopping moment there. And the problem in this case is that everyone's doing the same thing, everyone's got the same clip. And the issue of that is basically users can't remember where they're seeing the content from. And in a recent report from the Reuters Institute, it showed that if users go to your website directly, you hope because they will remember the content there. But most of users are accessing your site through search and social, and so they just can't remember where that content is coming from. So one way, obviously, to address that is put very strong branding on your social clips. But really, at the end of the day, it's around investing in original storytelling, really thinking about your construction of videos. You can, luckily for us in the radio industry, there's been some fantastic work done in the podcast industry. And a lot of these podcasts over the last year have now been translated into TV shows for the likes of Amazon and Netflix. So in a way, getting back to my presenter at the beginning, this is all about making great audio, great radio, and actually not shit TV at all. So thanks very much.